Hey guys, it's Brian with Brian's Auto and Diesel Repair here in Cedar Hill, Texas. Today we are going to be working on a personal car of mine. We're going to be servicing it, number one. Number two, we're going to service the transmission. And three, we're going to be replacing a throttle body on it. We've been having a little issue with this throttle body. It hasn't broken us down or anything, but it just throws a code every now and then. And so I'm going to go ahead and knock that out so that engine light doesn't come back on and get that serviced. Yeah, we'll be servicing the transmission, we'll be servicing the oil, and we'll be checking things here and there, and I'll kind of walk you step by step what I'm doing here. First, you want to put the car up on jack stands. I got it on jacks right now. I'll put a jack stand underneath there just for safety. You want to get the car jacked up, and you want to get you an oil pan put under there, and I believe it's a 17mm wrench we're going to need to drop the oil. So you'll need a 17mm wrench. This happens to be the 4-cylinder. We're going to be using a 530 synthetic oil on it, high mileage. Anytime you're over 100,000 miles, you're going to want to use a high mileage oil. And so yeah, we'll be using a high mileage. I use Valvoline high mileage oil, and so that's what we'll be using today. And yeah, I'll take you step by step through it. So get your 17mm wrench and something to catch the oil in, and we'll get started. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye. Okay guys, we're gonna get under here, coast on, get under here and see what we need here. We're gonna be taking this plate off here. So we're gonna need tins. See these 10 bolts here? You're gonna take all your tins out, and it's gonna pull this bottom cover out here. Once we get to where that is, then we'll do the oil change. Now you don't have to do that to do the oil change, but I'm doing it because I'm servicing the transmission today. So you'll need to get to the transmission, which is under here. So we're gonna pull this cover off. Once you get that cover off, we'll move to the next step, okay? All right guys, we got this cover off. It's about too many dang bolts holding it, but there's all the bolts that hold this cover on. We only took the right side cover off because we really don't need to take the left side cover off to do the oil change. There's holes there for it. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the oil real quick. Get your 17mm wrench, and I'll show you underneath. Here's our transmission right here. This is what we needed to get loose here. So we'll need this to be able to service the transmission here in a few minutes. But here's your oil filter right here. See, there's a hole for it right here, so you don't have to pull this cover. And then we have our drain plug right here under this bottom part here, which will take a 17mm wrench. I've done this so many times, I know the wrench size, you know. So you'll loosen it. Loosen it, and then we're gonna drop it. Let this drain. Let this oil drain, boy. It's dirty. See how dirty it is? Yeah, I service this on a regular basis, so but it was time. So we're gonna let that drain. Then we're gonna work on draining our transmission next. So we'll be on the next step. Hey Bubba. What's up? Shit. All right guys, next you're gonna pull this metal section out here. I already loosened the bolts here. You're gonna pull this. Now if you have the air filter housing on yours, it'll be a little different because I have the aftermarket one here, so it'll be a little different. You'll need to pull that air box. We're only removing that right there to be able to access coast on. Access this right here. You're going to need a 3/8 size extension and ratchet, and we're going to loosen this plug right here. So we'll go ahead and do that. The ratchet. And we will need a extension. We'll get a long extension. We'll get a couple of them, make it longer. And You can see it right there. There's your fitting right there, and put that right there. It's very loose. You don't have to tighten it and bear down on it. It's plastic. So once you get it loose, you will pull it out. There's your plug right there. This will be the fill hole where we're going to fill it with transmission fluid. And then we'll go down here to the drain. Let me get a something to put the transmission fluid in. We'll use this one right here. Actually, this is coolant only. We'll use this one right here. And we're gonna see what size we need to drain this transmission fluid. So there will be a point where we loosen this too right here, but we're not gonna do that till after. But this is your drain plug right here. We're gonna open this up and let it start draining out, and let it drain for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so let's find the wrench we need. It looks like a 13. It is a 15/16 wrench. Get your 15/16, break it loose, and we're gonna just let it sit here and drain for about 5 to 10 minutes till ain't nothing coming out no more. Woo, look at that. That's some dirty stuff right there. This is the first service I've done on this transmission. I'm hoping I'm not too late on it. But yeah, we'll let it sit there and drain. Let it get all the way out. And then we'll go on to the next step. Our oil's still draining over there too. While those are draining, we're gonna work on getting this throttle body off. So we're gonna take this filter off right here. This is an aftermarket filter system, so it's gonna be a little different if you're doing this job as compared to the air box that usually is sitting here. So just get that air box off, and then if you're doing this, and you'll be in the same spot I'm in. Pull this off. Just like that. This is gonna come off here. Once we get this off, now I already tried cleaning this throttle body and it did not work. It did work for like 2 days and then it started messing up again. So coast on. So now we're just gonna replace the whole thing, and I got the whole one here. This was like $75 or something like that online, and it's not that expensive. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is unplug the electrical part here, which it's been on here forever. Let me spray it real quick. Let's spray it real quick. It's been on there for quite some time, ever since the car was new. Once you get that unplugged right there, let that hang. Now you do have a water connection, actually 2 water connections. You got one right here on the top side here, and you got one on the bottom side right here, so you're going to need needle nose to get to it and take these water lines off. You're going to have a little leakage from this, so what I would recommend is get you some hose clamps, and we're going to clamp the hoses with some hose clamps or some vice grips, so the water will be minimum on leaking once we get the clamps off there. Okay, on this throttle body, guys, you're gonna what I used is some clamps here. See, I got some needle nose clamps here, and I got some hose clamps right here, and I got my clamps for to hold it on. I got them moved back, so we're just gonna take these off. We're gonna lose a little bit of coolant, but not much. Didn't really lose but a drop there. right there. We lost a little bit, but now my hoses are off. Once you get the hoses off, you want to kind of get stuff out of the way here, like that. And then you have 4 10mm head bolts here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this throttle body will come right off. So we'll get those taken off. See if I can place this. There we go. I got it placed right there. There's one right there. There's 2. Three. Like I said, this stuff has been on there ever since we've had this car, ever since it was out of the factory, so the bolts are going to be a little tight. Alright, there's our throttle body right here. Dirty, old. Yeah, I'd say it's about time to replace it. It's probably the actuator on the inside going bad, most likely, and when it gets hot it starts malfunctioning and then throws the engine light. So we did try cleaning it, and like I said, it worked for a few days like that, but it still came back. So I believe the actuator inside is going bad, so we're just going to replace it. Here's our new one right here, guys. Brand new one. We'll start by hand, putting them in by hand. Get them all started by hand. Alright guys, we got them all started. Alright, once you get those on there, we're going to put our hoses back on here. Like that. Like that. Then we can unclip it. Take your clips off. like that, so we don't lose coolant. And we we'll get our needle nose and put our hose clamps back on. Make sure I got it all the way on. Got it all the way on. As you can see, there's our clamps right there. Our clamp on the bottom side there. Now all you got to do is plug your electrical switch in right here. Bam, got the electrical switch plugged back in, and we'll put our air filter housing back on. Uh-oh. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Set of what? No, there's only 2. It's only a 10 and a 13. And maybe one more 8 or something like that. We got that on there. Clamps on tight. Air filter system's hooked back up. Air filter I cleaned last week, so we don't have to clean it again. But normally I would clean this air filter when I'm doing the oil change. So since we got done with that, everything's plugged in. We're gonna go back down to the bottom. Ran out of battery power, so we're back to it. We're gonna go plug our plugs back up. They should be already, we got our throttle body installed here. That's done. Now we gotta put our drain plugs back in on both sides here. I'm gonna do the oil first. Get it back in there. And we still gotta take our oil filter off too. Oil drain plug is tight. Then we're going to do our oil filter. Get a rag. Hopefully it's not He-Man tight. Nope, it's not. I'm going to let it drain. And then we're going to put our transmission drain plug back in. Wipe it off clean. Now, once we do this, I am going to show you something. how we're gonna know if this transmission's full. All right, our drain plug is tight. It's tight. So there's a plug right here. Right here, it's a 3/8 fitting. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open it. Let's go ahead and get our oil filter off. Put that in there. Let's get our new oil filter. Got our long life one right here. When you tighten these down, you always want to put a little bit of oil on the front here, around the O-ring. That way when you go to take it off, it's not going to be really hard to take off. So you're going to put that oil filter on there. Not too tight, just wrist tight. That's all you got to do. You don't have to put a whole bunch of muscle on it. So we're ready to add oil on this side and be able to start it on the oil side. But on the transmission, our next deal, we need a 3/8 ratchet, like this. And you seen that 3/8 fitting right here, right there. You're gonna open this. Just like this. So when we fill it, when we start seeing fluid coming out of here, that means it's full. Then you want it down to a drip. So when we fill it up right now, we're gonna be watching for it to start leaking here. And that will mean the transmission's full. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put this right here, point it downward. That. Where did that? Where did that funnel go? What did I do with that funnel? You seen what I did with that funnel? Son of a gun.
Hey, you know what, bro?
What?
I want to take those wires off, and on the terminal that the hot's on,
Yeah.
there's a nut behind the two cables, and I guess it kind of keeps the terminal tight. And
You'll put your funnel in right there. I told you to check and see if shit was loose.
But I wouldn't have seen it unless I took those two cables out.
Well, that's your problem. That was your problem.
I gotta be back in an hour. I left the keys at the house.
That ain't good.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right, man.
I hope that was it.
That's definitely it. A loose cable will do it every time.
But it was that, you know, that post?
So now we're gonna fill it up.
I'll be back, bro.
All right, buddy. It has a locking nut on it. It wasn't locked up.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour it in here until we start seeing a leak down there. It should start leaking whenever it's full. If I don't spill it. Once we see a leak down there, that means the transmission's full. It's kind of hard to watch both of them at the same time. But it should start coming out pretty good. I think it's just now starting to leak. We're going to pour it all in there. There we go. So now it's leaking down there. I'm going to show y'all. See how it's leaking? So that means it's full. And what we're going to do next, once it stops leaking, we're going to plug it back up. There we go. That's locked in, that's tight. So our transmission is done. Our oil filter's done on it. We got to add our oil next. So we'll go ahead and add our oil. We got the Valvoline Max Life high mileage oil. And we will be adding oil to it. Coast off. So I got me a little deal where I can add easier. So we're gonna fill it up. I've been using this oil for a long time in this car, and this is probably the best oil for this car that you can get, man. I love this oil. Never had a problem with it. It always lasts a long time. And I just like it, man. It's my preference. So okay, we got a little bit more we're gonna put in there. Actually, what I have here is what we're gonna put in there next. We're gonna put about a half a quart of this stuff in there. This stuff is really good. It's oil treatment. I always put a little in every oil change. So we'll add a little bit of this stuff to it. About a half a quart or a quart. Just enough for the oil filter. We'll add this little treatment in there for it. That'll keep our oil nice and clean and everything lubricated, extra lubrication. And that will be it, fellas. Next, we'll put our oil cap on. We're gonna put our fill bolt back in on plug back in right here. It's that plastic one I was showing y'all earlier. The plastic one. Screw it in by hand. Alright, and then you'll get like a little quarter turn with the ratchet wherever I put it. Where did I put that ratchet at? Here we go. Get a little quarter turn here. There we go. It's hand tight. You don't want to, it's plastic. Just remember that, it's plastic. So you don't want to put no force or anything on it. You want to just do it all by hand. Put our box there. The last thing left will be, let's go ahead and full of nasty oil. Look at that nasty oil. It's so nasty. And we got this nasty transmission fluid. Get it out of here. And we will put our plastic pieces back together, and then we'll test drive it. But that's it. That's basically it, y'all. You want to put this plastic guard back under it and start it up. Check your oil. We'll go ahead and start it up right now. Did I leave the keys in it? Of course not. I always take the keys out. Once we start it up, we'll check the oil, make sure the oil's full. Transmission we know is full because there is no dipstick. That's the way you tell it's full, whenever it starts dripping out of that top there. So our pressure's up. Got it. We'll put a sticker in it as well so we know when our next oil change is due. We'll go ahead and check the oil. Oil is full. Right on the money. Right on the money. So that's how you do the oil change. That's how you change the throttle body on a car. We will go back in there and clear, if there's any codes in it, we'll clear them out. But yeah, that's it, man. I hope you really enjoyed the video today. I hope it helped you out if you have a Kia. These are great cars, love them, but they do use oil. So every oil change, I'm about a quart low on the oil change. So but it's a really good car. Just make sure you service it every time it's due, and you'll have no problems with it. Everybody have a wonderful day. Remember, Jesus is King. Bye-bye.